Hello, you're back with Mike Mason of Chaosium, and this is part 4 of the prologue to the Dead of Winter campaign. And in this session, I'm joined by Becky. Hi, Becky.
Hello.
Hi. Let's start. Becky, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and then tell us about your character?
Sure, my name is Becky Rose from the YouTube channel Pair of Geeks, and I help run the Con+3 charity convention with Jason, who I gather you met earlier.
Yeah.
And today I will be playing Eleanor Wright. I'm going to try and do a voice for this, and it might vary throughout and change each session, but I'll do my best. Hello, yes. I'm Eleanor Wright, and I am a reporter. I'm trying to be a writer. Every time I sit down at the typewriter, it just turns out like D.H. Lawrence's Sons and Lovers. I don't even have an Oedipus complex.
Very good. So, am I right in thinking, are you called Eleanor, or do you prefer Nell, or how do you want to play that?
I think because she doesn't have that many close relationships in her life at the moment, I think whilst her brother may have called her Ellie, I think she would normally be referred to in a more formal and professional manner, because I think her only real life at the moment is her professional life as a journalist.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, fine. Um, right. Oh, maybe as you've just mentioned your brother, before we start, maybe just so everyone understands, tell us about your relationship with your brother and why you're bringing that up.
Well, we were very close. We shared, a close relationship when we were younger. Oh, I should do this in the voice. I'm sorry. See how forgetful. Well, yes, we were very close. But then the Great War happened, and he went off to fight for his country, king and country, and all that. Um, and yes, it was the 100 Days offensive that was his. I don't want to say end. I mean, the last I saw him, of course, was at the train station when he left. I do miss him. I mean, there's a part of me, I think, that went to France with him. I mean, it's preposterous to say that. Of course, I wasn't fighting. I was only 16 at the time, and and never really was good at nursing or anything like that. So I was never at the front. No, but he was 27 years old, and too young, I think, to die in a war. Don't they always?
No, fair enough. That tells us, I guess, what we need to know about your brother Mark. So we'll move forward, and we're going to begin on Tuesday, the 1st of October, 1929. And you've spent the day presumably working, and you've come home in the evening. And what sort of where do you live? Give me a very
Oh,
vague
was
sense of.
that was
I'm
that
not
in the
entirely
character
sure.
details? Well,
Is it a house, a flat, or are you
I'm
alone?
I suspect she would have a small apartment somewhere on the outskirts of London,
Yeah.
and then commuting into Fleet Street to do her job.
Okay, that sounds entirely reasonable. So you're back in the apartment, and uh, and you turn into bed. Turn to bed, go to sleep, and you're having a dream, and you are dreaming of your brother Mark. This is before he went to war. This is he was a little younger, perhaps in his early 20s, before the war, and you mainly it's almost like a dream memory of maybe a summer picnic, that kind of thing. It's all very pleasant and quite nice. And you're awakened from the dream by the sound of, well, it sounds like someone is in your kitchen. You can hear a cupboard doors being opened, and then it sounds like the tap, maybe the kitchen sink tap turning on, and you're kind of awakened, and you can hear these sort of shuffling sounds. Sounds like a person rather than persons, but it sounds like somebody is in the kitchen area of your apartment.
Oh, well, I'll nervously and quietly get out of the bed, and of course, the first thing that happens is I step on crumpled up paper from various first pages of the novel that I've still never managed to write, and I think, oh, maybe I should protect myself. I should get something to hit them with or something. The only thing heavy is the typewriter. I'm not using that. Oh no. Um. Oh.
Perhaps you Perhaps, yeah, I was going to say, you've probably got an open fire in the room, so maybe you've got a
The
bit of
poker,
wood
the
or
fire
a
poker.
poker.
Yes, the fire poker. And I try to grab it quietly, but of course it grinds and grates on everything, so I can't see what
well,
I'm doing. And
dis-
I'll grab the poker and I head to the kitchen.
well, despite any noise you make, the noise doesn't seem to diminish or stop, and you creep out of your bedroom, across the small hallway to the kitchen area, and the light is on in the kitchen. Do you want to, creep into the kitchen or rush in, ta-da, or how are you approaching it?
Hello? I'm armed.
A voice comes back pretty much straight away. Hello, hello, and there's a sort of a second pause as you kind of stop and realize that the voice, it can't be, but it sounds like Mark, your brother. The voice saying, "Hello."
Without thinking, my guard goes down, and I'm still holding the poker, but I let it down, and I open the door to look in, sort of leaning forward. Mark?
As you peer around, you see your brother Mark stood there. He looks pretty much like the day you last remember him leaving for the war, but he is dressed in soldier's garb, and there's various kitchen cabinets, drawers are all opened. He seems to have been searching for something. The tap is running on the sink. It's not quite full, but it is running, and he's got his head kind of in the cupboard up beneath the sink. But obviously, he's turns around to kind of to greet you. Um, and he, oh, you're there, he says. There you are. I can't find it. I can't find it.
I drop the poker and I run forward to give him a big hug. And dreams like this always hurt the most. Oh, it's so nice, and yet
He
little face. No,
reciprocates the hug and gives you a very strong hug and says, there. What's the matter? What's the matter?
just like the day I last remember seeing you.
What do you mean last remember seeing me? I, I've been here all the time. What are you having a? Are you playing a game with me?
Oh, oh, you silly boy. What are you doing? Look, you're running the tap over the sink.
Oh,
I'll turn the tap on.
sorry, I forgot about it. I was trying to find the boot polish. Father's boot polish. It's better than the ones they give us in the army, and I wanted to take it with me before I left. I can't find it anywhere. Do you know where he put it?
Well, it's probably back at the vicarage.
Ah, aren't we there? Oh no, this isn't home, is it?
I
What
moved here
what
after you left.
what is this place? This is what your home now.
Yes.
But
This
when
is
you,
my
you
little.
say You say I left. When do you mean I left? Sorry, I don't. I'm not really with you. You're saying things I'm not really. I'm sure. I know it's some sort of game, but you're gonna have to fill me in.
Oh, I've missed you so much.
Well, I
I'll
miss you
give him
too.
another hug and
Yeah.
a pat. And, and your shoes are even shiny, you silly boy.
Well, I just wanted to put it in my bag, and but I've got to go though. I mean, I'm running late as it is. I don't really want to go, but I'm going to have to. I think. Um, you you look older. Something's not right, is it?
Well, time's moved on. It's been, what, 11 years now?
He kind of pauses, and you can see the kind of cogs whirling in his eyes, but he doesn't seem to be quite. He knows something isn't right, but he's not getting it at this point in time. And obviously, it's your choice whether you want to say anything particular. But he's no, I don't. And the kind of moment passes, and he says, oh well, I'm just gonna have to go without the polish. Um, yes, but maybe there's time for a cup of tea before I go. That's what I was pouring the water for. That's right, to put in the kettle. Now where's the kettle?
You have to use a pan, I'm sorry. But usually with dreams, one can maybe guide them somewhere nicer than this little dingy flat. Maybe back to our childhood or something. Oh well, here now. Maybe I'll
Just
make the kettle. Well, the
okay.
pan.
You turn to pick up the pan, hoping that you can maybe move this stream to somewhere better, um, and you pick the pan, turn to put it under the tap to fill it with water, and you realise that Mark is no longer there. You you kind of maybe quickly poke your head into the hall and into the other rooms in the apartment just in case he's moved quickly before you realize, and he isn't there at all. But the cupboard doors are still open, and so forth, um and can I have a sanity roll, please?
Oh, sure. Get my dice out. Oh, I don't think I need that dice. I've just seen what the tens die has said. Oh dear. That is a fail.
Okay, could you roll me a d6 then, please?
That is a 3.
A 3. Okay, so 3 loss. You obviously have a range of emotions going through you at the moment, but there is this thought that you are dreaming. Um, but as you sort of sit down and just take a breath for a moment, you realize you're not dreaming. That this, whatever you have just experienced, happened in some way, whether you hallucinated or whether your brother Mark was really here, who can say? But somebody, whether yourself or somebody else, has opened all the drawers and the cupboards in the kitchen that you're pretty sure you remember, not being like that when you went to bed. Um, and it's hard for you to, you know, fit the pieces together at this point. It doesn't really make much sense. But you may be thinking along certain lines. I'm not sure.
But no, I am awake. And there's the sink still full of water and... But Maybe I was just coming to. Maybe as I woke up, I was still dreaming.
And
Maybe.
you,
I'm going to find my copy of D.H. Lawrence's Sons and Lovers, the book he gave me before
yes,
he left.
yeah, yeah, you find that, and it's still got, the inscription he wrote in that to you before he left. It's in its usual place and is all as you would expect it to be. And perhaps, given the little bit of sanity loss, there's you have a bit of you get into a bit of a state. Rereading it, tears flow. You get quite emotional, perhaps for a while until normalcy kind of comes back and you know you're quite shaken, obviously. Can't really explain it, but what more can you do, I guess, at this point? So eventually, tiredness does overtake you, and you slip back into bed and fall asleep happily. Happily, no more weird dreams or dreams of your brother or anything untoward for the rest of the night. The following day, you kind of start back into your routine. In fact, the next couple of days go without incident, other than this dream or whatever it was plays on your mind. Does come back to you at times of moments of, quiet.
I'm going to type it up.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so you type up the experience. Do you kind of state clearly that it was a dream in the type, or do you leave it open to interpretation? Or
No, I think what I'll do is a first draft of just the facts exactly as I remember them, and all of the details as I recall, and I write that up as sort of my record of what it was that happened. But then after I've done that, I start thinking, well, if it's good enough for D.H. Lawrence to write about his own life, maybe I'll write about mine, and I'll fictionalize this and see where it leads me.
okay,
And so I start typing kind of my own story, and I'll begin writing from childhood memories of Mark, and I'll outline kind of a first what those sort of early chapters will be, and then I just kind of have that outline there for now,
yeah,
and then I'll write up that scene in a fictionalized detail, embellishing new things for the fiction and so on. Um, which possibly won't help me remember it correctly later.
now that sounds good. I think there's obviously an element of catharsis once you get going on this, and actually after a couple of days spent, whatever part of the day spent doing this, you realise actually you've been quite productive, and actually rather than lots of scraps of paper that you've turned and dismissed previous attempts. It feels like it's actually flowing because maybe it's because it's you're writing about yourself, even though it's fictionalized, perhaps, so that it's got a sort of a strong sense to it, as truer meaning, and you're finding it's flowing, and you kind of, I guess, devote some time to this over the next couple of days. Just really getting a good start on things, I guess. And indeed, probably, despite having to do some work in between, on Saturday you have a free day, so I guess you spend most of the day typing away. And I'm just thinking, at any point on Saturday, are you likely to go out anywhere, take a break, or?
Well, it would be necessary in that era, I would imagine, to do the weekly shops. So absolutely, I'll go to the local grocers, the local butchers, and all those separate
Okay.
shops, as it were.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Um, you get all your shopping, and you've got obviously at least a couple of bags, I imagine, if not two or three, um, and walking home. It starts to rain. There's kind of dark clouds, kind of were threatening earlier on, but they've really come over now, and it's starting to pour down. So you're kind of rushing. rushing to get home before you get completely soaked. And most of the streets are pretty clear now because everyone else has gone inside because it's raining. And you're just kind of turn into your street, and walking towards you is Mark, who sees you and runs towards you to help to grab the bags. You can clearly see that's his intention as he starts to run towards you. What do you do?
Well, at this point now, I mean, I'll have gone white with the shock. My heart will be pounding fast, and as he's grabbing the bags, I almost kind of forget to let go of them.
Okay.
Of course, there'll be the paper bags back in those days, and they'll be sodden through. But so yeah, and so he has to kind of take them from me, and I just kind of like stand there in disbelief, not quite understanding what it is that's happening, and
Okay.
and eventually it sort of quietly utter out the word Mark.
Could I have a sanity roll at that point, please?
Oh gosh, this is not going to take long, is it? That is another fail.
Okay. Could you roll me a d6, please?
Oh, that's a relief. Just the one this time.
One. Okay. Great. Okay. So yeah, there's a kind of you're kind of that kind of momentary kind of loss of a point of sanity mechanically. It kind of equates to that kind of you are frozen for a moment, not quite giving the bags, not quite knowing, not quite comprehending what's going on, and eventually, and then it kind of passes, very quickly. And he takes the bags up and says, come on inside before you get completely soaked. And he just directs you, one arm kind of trying to guide you while holding the bags that are complete, starting to disintegrate. And, it almost farcical in the fact, there's items of food, and so starts to fall out the bag, and he's trying to catch them, and you then automatically trying to catch them, and it is quite something like out of a Charlie Chaplin or Laurel and Hardy film or something like that. But it doesn't take two minutes to get to the door of your apartment and inside, and and he's going, oh, I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I was there just at the right moment to help.
And in a kind of the fit of stupidity of not thinking clearly, the words that come out of my mouth is somebody really should invent a reusable bag. We cut trees down and turn them into bags and then throw them away. I mean, what's the point of that? You're here again.
Yes, I found my way back. I'm not sure if I was supposed to. It's like the other night when I saw you. It was something's not quite right, but I think I've realised why. I think I know what's happening. Do you want to know?
What year is it?
I'm not sure. I know it's. I know you're older, but I don't know how old you are.
Mark, what's happening? Are
I,
you real? Is this real?
you mean he feels real? He smells real. It's physically appears to be there. There are damp footprints on the floor that are both yours and his. Um, he he says, I don't remember exactly, but I remember leaving you, and I remember being in France. I
Why did
remember
you leave?
there was the war. The war was on, and I think I died. I think I died, but I think God has given me a chance to come back. I'm not sure why, but it can only be good, can't it? It can only be a good thing. Perhaps I
Uh,
get a chance to.
and I'll hold it to Mark. You're here now. You're here. And that's what matters. Just focus on being here.
Yes, that's
What?
that's that's
When you
good.
left
That's
last
good.
time, why did you leave? How did it happen? We mustn't let that happen again.
I'm not sure. I don't think I can. I don't think I can be here all the time. But I think I found a way I can come back, though.
How, Mark? How
I,
is this happening?
the, the, it feel. I'm not sure. When I'm not here, I feel it's like I'm swimming. I'm in a vast ocean, and I'm like treading water and swimming, and I feel that I can't really get anywhere. I keep trying, but I can't get anywhere. But there's sometimes I kind of dive under, and when I dive under, I'm here. I'm with you, and I think that's how I can be here. But even when I'm here, I can feel the water. I can feel it kind of pulling, and I know it wants me back. But I think I think the angels have let me come back to see you and to help perhaps.
Oh, don't go back to the watermark. Stay
I,
here.
well, I don't want to, but I am. I really want to stay. I mean, it's perhaps the more times I can come back, the longer I get, and perhaps one day that means I get to earn my place. Perhaps if I can do the right thing and help, and perhaps I earn the right to to come back forever. He gives you a hug at this point.
Earning the right? It's you've you've already earned it, Mark.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's
You've
not for
given
me.
everything already. What more sacrifice can you make? For
Well,
God's sake.
it's not for me to say. And he starts to, he sees you're getting emotional. He tries to, he hugs you again and tries to say, there. I'm sure it'll all be fine. I'm sure it'll all work out. Look, let's put this shopping away and then we'll sit down and talk more. Yes.
Sod the shopping. I need to find a way to keep you here this time so you don't go back to the water. Was it the running tap? You left when I turned the tap off. It's raining now. I have an idea. Come with me to the kitchen. We'll run the tap.
Okay.
And I'll take his hand and run up the stairs, leading upstairs
Yeah.
to my little apartment at the top. And I'll run the water in the kitchen.
You have him by the hand and you're taking him up the stairs and you you get to the top of the landing and you turn with feeling him in your hand, and as you turn you feel the hand not there. It's literally like split second, and you look back and he's not there.
No! No, not again! No! No, you can't do this to me! You can't do this to me! You can't
And
do this to me!
you obviously you break down, you cry, you have these. You not only have the kind of the sorrow and the grief, but the anger as well is kind of welling up. That this kind of thing is, this is not fair, as you say, and you just feel frustrated at what seems to be, you feel it was, your brother was there, and then he wasn't again. Um, However, um, you know the rest of the day passes, and eventually, despite despite the tears, despite the shouting and anger, you eventually think, well, I'm going to have to put the shopping away at some point, and normalcy kind of starts to filter in a little bit, and you start to kind of maybe question whether, did that really happen?
No,
Did I?
I have
you know I,
something I need to do from that. Which is I feel the need to, like, I know he died in the Battle of Amiens, but
yeah.
I know nothing about it. So um and I think he's obviously, well, in my mind I need to piece together how he died exactly. I need to understand if there was water involved. And so I'm going to head to the library and I'm going to try and read up anything I can on the Battle of Amiens, survivor stories, diaries of the war, and anything I can find.
Unfortunately, well, no. I was going to say Sundays libraries aren't likely to be open. However, it's London, so maybe one of the big ones is. So yes, you can probably.
But
Um,
shops were open. I would imagine it was a Saturday because they wouldn't have been
oh,
open on
oh
a Sunday.
well, no, it was a Saturday, but I'm kind of thinking that. But if you
Oh, I see.
felt you
Next
need,
day, yeah.
so yeah, I say so. So what you're saying is you go out later in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Mm.
Fine, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so you do. You can make the last hour at a library or something certainly, and you can look up. And you can easily look up certainly newspaper reports and various kind of bits and pieces from the Great War. And by now, there's at least one or two books written on it. So you can certainly look up the kind of history regarding the Battle of Amiens that took place in August in 1918. But we will um, move on from that at this point. But certainly, you can kind of read up on that.
And in the meantime, I will always keep the sink with a bit of water in.
Okay, that sounds a good plan. Um, Sunday kind of maybe I mean I presume basically you go to the library Saturday, you find the materials you can in the reference section, but also you find maybe a handful of books or articles that you can actually withdraw from the library, and you spend Sunday reading up on these basically and doing that kind of thing. When it comes to Monday, and you are presumably heading into work,
Mhm.
before you leave, you get the first post. And normally you would probably, unless it looked, as it looks interesting, you would probably leave it till later to open. But this one does look interesting. It's only a single letter you have, but it's a letter that seems to come from Russia with a Moscow postmark.
Yeah, how peculiar.
And I'm presuming you open and read that before you leave.
Yes, absolutely. This is
Okay.
unusual to have anyone in Russia. Maybe it relates to work, I suppose.
So you open it and I'll just read it briefly to you. It says, "Dear sir, sorry, dear madam, you do not know me, nor I you, but I badly need your help. My name is Nadezhda Panova, sorry, or Nadezhda Palliser. John Palliser, my husband, is British. He is working for the Soviet government as an engineer, and I think that his new role on the Bellamore Canal may put him in danger in several ways. John cannot write this, so I do. John and I see the loved dead. I think you do as well. A man here knows of this, and it was he that gave me your name and those of a few others. He knows we all see them. He says he will talk to us of this. I know no more than that, but I think we have to work together, help each other with all our heads. This is very severe to me. I know you can agree. It is a great request, I know, but you must come to me here. Please come on the ship that leaves London Bridge on October the 27th to join this tour. And when you reach Moscow, come to me at my address above as soon as you can. With great respect, Nadezhda Palliser." And included with that letter is a single page written in English of a tour setting forth from London Bridge in late October to Moscow, visiting a few cities. And I will put that and this letter. I'll make that available to you in the next day or so. But as you can see, it's a slightly unusual letter. I'm not sure what your initial reaction is, but I can guess. But
It's initially one of perplexion, but this seeing the loved dead. I mean, obviously, I'm a reporter. I connect the dots, and that is it. I can make this connection, but I don't think one should be making connections like that. It's rather Oh gosh. I mean, uh, I mean, seeing the love dead. It's a canal. It's with water. And a boat. So much water. Can't I take an aeroplane? I suppose I can't really afford one, but if and what would my boss say? I'd lose my work taking such a long tour. I have a respectable job. But my brother. But if I leave here, will he be able to find me?
And such thoughts go round and round your head for the rest of the day. And whether you have any intention of following up on this letter in any way, those kind of thoughts of these kind of various kind of dilemmas, are what keep you very distracted from work for the rest of the day. However, when you come home that evening, you find there's been a second or third post, and you have another letter. But this one, intriguingly, is from the Foreign Office in Downing Street with the London postmark.
Oh, I see. How strange.
And
I'll open that.
opening that, and this one is a little shorter. It just says Thursday, the 10th of sorry, Monday. I get my dates wrong. Anyway, Thursday, the 10th of October, 1929. Dear Miss Wright, I'm writing to you on behalf of the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs to seek your attendance this evening at the St Ermin's Hotel, Caxton Street, Westminster. My apologies for the very short notice and also for the no doubt unexpected arrival of this request. I thank you in advance for your assistance as this is a matter of some urgency and importance. If you could arrive at 7 p.m., please ask at the desk for my representative, Mr. Weston. Yours sincerely, Walford Selby, Private Secretary.
Oh.
And with that,
I need to find something to wear.
We'll end there. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Right.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone, and join us for the proper start of the Dead of Winter campaign in next week when you're watching this. So see you then. Cheers, Becky. See you later.
Bye.